This episode is brought to you by Elite SRS, an incredible company based out of the Northwest that we are proud to announce our partnership with on the AIM podcast. If you guys have not checked them out already, you need to do so right now. Not only do they make incredible premium, high quality, and affordable jump ropes, but they stand for something as a brand that's so much bigger. Their mantra is do hard things, and so is a perfect fit for the Ambition in Mind podcast to partner with Elite SRS. And I personally love their jump rope. During a marathon prep, I've actually had jump rope be incorporated in my training, and I use their jump rope every single week. So get out there, check them out, and make sure you do hard things with ambition in mind. Bjorn, thank you so much for jumping on the AIM podcast.
Yes, sir, Doug. Thanks for having me.
Dude, I love the energy already out the gate. But my first question for you is, do you honestly think that you can beat me in a 3-point contest?
I have beat you in a 3-point contest.
When did you beat me in a 3-point contest?
I don't know what you're talking about. In college I'd beat you in a 3-point contest. Tomorrow I'll beat you in a 3-point contest. In 20 years I'll beat you in a 3-point contest.
All right, my follow-up to that is, do you think you're the best shooter that's ever come on the AIM podcast behind Jimmer Fredette, behind Michael Savarino? We've had some studs.
That's elite company.
Ono Stager, Cam Gibson.
All right, let me talk. That's elite company, but I would say 1A is myself, 1B is Jimmer. So
you're okay.
That's how I'll put it. I mean, take it how you want it, but that's the confidence I have in my shooting ability.
You know, I respect that. I think that's on brand with this podcast. You know, you have a lot of ambition. You've done some dope stuff.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset, Doug. Come on.
It's definitely a mindset. Dude, let's go. All right. Well, listen, I want to dive into your story. I think you've done a lot of really cool stuff, and it's cool to see how you've leveraged different platforms to kind of reach more lives. But just let's start from the beginning. Like, how did you even get into the game of basketball? What was the origin story there? I know you've got a brother, I'm sure you'll mention here, but like, how did you even get into the game?
Yeah, I mean, basketball has been a huge part of my life. As far back as I can remember, basketball, or I've been playing hoops. And yeah, a lot of credit goes to my brother. One of the biggest influences in my life in the basketball world and off the court. He's done so much for me. He's taught me so much. But yeah, he was a big influence on me growing up playing basketball. I'm about a year and a half younger than him. So anything he did, I was going along with. So he was playing his first year of basketball in kindergarten, first grade. I'm a year and a half younger, and somehow I'm on the team. And then he's playing in the 3rd and 4th grade division. And I'm in first grade, and I'm in that division as well. So I kind of got dragged along playing with him. But it helped me so much that I was playing against older kids, higher level. So that's all I knew from a young age, which then over time really paid off.
100%. How do you think that impacted your growth and development, like always playing with older players and kids?
Oh, it was huge. That's something that we teach our kids, our players, our clients now is get outside your comfort zone, push your growth, play against better competition. We tell our kids all the time, if you're in 5th grade, play against 6th graders. You see someone better than you, go play with them, because that's how we get better. If you stay where you are, play against worse competition, whatever, you're not pushing those limits. So I think that played a big role in my growth and development as a kid, all the way, throughout high school.
I love it. I think it's cool. And with another cool part about it is like the exposure element of, like, you know, you grow up and you're younger playing with these older guys. They're able to do more. They're capable of more. I remember a story. I was playing in Charlotte in an AAU tournament in the 6th grade. And I was playing on an 8th grade team. I was playing on a team 2 years up. And that was the first experience. That was the first game I was ever in where there was an in-game dunk. And I remember this dude drove baseline, pitched, a guy cut down the middle of the lane. He pitched it back to him, and he went up with 2 hands and just dunked the crap out of it. And I was like, holy crap, like I'm playing with some guys that can go. And it's cool because you get exposed to that, but then talk about what it does to your confidence. Because obviously at first it might be kind of overwhelming, you might nerve-wracking, but like as you get more comfortable being uncomfortable in those situations, talk about how your confidence grows and how it can kind of help you develop.
Yeah, for sure. A story like that, I went to a small Christian school, Lakeview Christian Academy, Duluth, Minnesota. Shout out to them. But we didn't have big class sizes. So when I was in 4th grade, I'm playing on 7th and 8th grade middle school team. And I am like 3 feet tall. I'm skin and bone, and I'm playing against these dudes that, you know, are 7th and 8th grade. They're developing, and we're getting smacked every game. Like every game we're getting smacked. And I remember telling my parents, I'm like, these dudes have armpit hair. Like what are we what are we doing playing against these guys?
Oh my gosh.
And that's just, but like that's playing against 3 years older. I didn't realize at the time, I'm like, we're just getting smacked. But then by the time I hit 7th and 8th grade, I'm crushing all the 7th and 8th graders around me. Or now I'm playing JV varsity in 7th and 8th grade instead of getting to that level and playing against my own age. But yeah, there's always moments where it's like a wake up call. It's like a welcome to basketball moment. And I think playing against the higher competition, seeing dunks, seeing this high level play. I remember playing the Nike EYBL with Howard Pulley, and the first tournament, I was 15, my brother was 17, going to Anders' first tournament, and the first player I walked in and saw was Jalil Okafor. And I'm like, this can't be what the EYBL is like. There's no way players are this tall, this athletic. And then watching them play at 15, watching my brother compete against them, my mindset instantly goes to that level. That's how I want to play. I got to get to that level. So yeah, it really does affect your development.
I love that. I know you reference Anders a lot, and kind of just the way he kind of led and kind of helped you along the way, and you guys were on similar teams. But what was the dynamic like outside of, like, off the court? Like growing up, I'm sure there was like a lot of battles. I'm sure there was good times, bad times. Like, talk about the dynamic there of having an older brother that close in age.
Yeah. It was huge. It's a year and a half apart. It was good and bad, be totally honest. Mostly good, but there was battles. I remember there's so many times we play one-on-one, and typically it was me, but someone leaves in tears. My mom breaks us up. My dad is like smiling, kind of laughing. My mom's the nice one dividing us. And yeah, there was battles. And I think that was part of us taking that next step, pushing ourselves. Since I was young, he's been the hardest worker I've ever met in my life. He's always pushing his limits, whether it's fitness, whether it's basketball, whether I don't know, just everything. So that instantly was passed down to me. It's like, if Anders is doing it, I got to keep up. And they always say, like, your environment, your atmosphere, who you're around, it really impacts how you think, what you do. I want to drop a really cool quote, but I know I'm going to mess it up. What is it? Like, if there's 5 millionaires in a room, you'll become the 6th. Is that a quote? Maybe I'm making that up right there.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Something like that. Cause it's who you're around, is going to change your how you think, what you do, your process. So just being around him, he instantly taught me hard work, discipline, doing the little things, the details. And so from a young age, that's all I've known.
I love it, dude. That's a good quote. And I agree. I mean, community is so important. And, what's really cool, and I don't want to go super deep here because we'll come back to this, but like what you guys have built with Broman Academy, now you guys get to leverage a platform to make an impact on this next generation. And they're super blessed to obviously have the opportunity to work with you guys and get poured into, not only from a basketball standpoint, but just from a character standpoint, from a faith standpoint, all the different things that you guys can do to bring value to their lives. I think that's the game, right? I mean, that's essentially what we want to do with this platform, is like create a community where, we can instill these ideas and different characteristics into people and help them kind of have that ripple effect and carry that out. So that's awesome, dude. That's really, really cool.
100%. Appreciate that.
Yeah, bro. So let's talk about your transition to high school. You were give me the stats. I know you averaged 50. Is that right? 50 your senior year?
49.6, but we can say 50.
That's insane. Literally, like that was your average. That wasn't like a game high. Like, you averaged 50 points a game.
That was my average. Like I said, we went to a very small Christian school, where faith was ultimately the most important thing, and then academics, preparing you for college. And then I don't know how many tiers down the list was basketball. Like, it just wasn't the main thing. So Anders started out, he caught fire, got the basketball program rolling. I come in as well. And by senior year, I did average 49.6 points a game. That's not who I am. I'm I can score.
Sorry,
I can
guys. That was
score.
an accident.
I can score, obviously, but ultimately my heart is a true point guard. Make the right play, whether it's 20 points and 5 assists or it's 5 points, 10 assists. I like playing the game the right way. I'm a smart player. I think it through. But my senior year, my role was scoring, and I made a few buckets.
Did you ever get tired of scoring? Like, did you ever roll up to the game like, man, I got to score 50 tonight? Like,
Doug, think about what question you just asked. Do you ever get tired of scoring?
that's a lot of volume, dude.
And any basketball player. No, I get what you're saying. No, I never got tired of it. But it was honestly great for my because my junior year I had Anders left and I had to pick up the scoring. People that don't know, Anders, my older brother, averaged 44 a game his senior year. So when he left, I had to pick up the scoring. But honestly, every game was a challenge. It really pushed my limits. Like every game, am I going to be double teamed, triple teamed, single? Like I don't know what they're going to throw at me. Is it going to be a trap, a zone where they're going to trap me every time I touch the ball? It prepared me. Like it sounds crazy because it was 49 a game, but I just got so many different looks. I had to work so hard just to get open that it taught me things about my game myself that I had to keep getting better at.
For sure. As you entered into a more serious season of the recruiting process, was this something that schools were coming to you saying like, we need you to score this at this clip, or did they recognize kind of the well-rounded player that you were? Coming into a college system is very different than I'm sure, what you had in the situation you had in high school. Was that something talked about in the process?
Yeah, a little bit. And honestly, it's still like the numbers is so crazy. It's almost a little embarrassing. It's like 49.6. What did you not pass the ball? But it sounds crazy, but the colleges, they didn't really care about our high school numbers, being totally honest, totally real. They
Sure.
cared about our AAU numbers. We played with Howard Pulley out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, played alongside Tyus Jones, Reed Travis, Gary Trent Jr., Trey Jones, Amir Coffey, all these guys that are in the NBA. And when we would go put up 10 to 15 points playing alongside those guys, that meant more
Sure.
than the 49. We'll get into my college that I ended up going to. They offered me after a tournament, and they said one of the games that stood out, I had 0.7 assists with 0 turnovers. And it just kind of shows like any game, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm a team player, whatever they need, I'm going to do, whether it's scoring, passing, being just a good playmaker. But yeah, scoring's fun, but it's not everything.
I love it, dude. Talk about that. You set it up nicely. So you end up attending Winthrop University.
Correct.
Talk about the transition from going to that. I mean, obviously from a high school standpoint, I'm sure there was a big transition. You were playing with a very competitive team in AAU, so I'm sure that probably bridged the gap smoother. But talk about that transition to college basketball. I think it's something high-level players do the best they can to prepare for, but until they step on the court, college uniform, it's just very different. So talk about what that looked like for you.
Yeah, playing with Howard Pulley, the Nike EYBL, and my high school trainer that passed away, Will Starks, that prepared me so much for college that I was able to step in. I was blessed to start for all 4 years, but it's a giant step. It's you don't understand it till you go through it. I remember that first freshman summer, because you have to go through summer school where you get there in the middle of the summer and you have nothing to do but work out, lift, play one-on-one every day. And I got cooked all summer, every day. I was stepping into it. What'd you say?
By Earp.
No, Matthew Earps has never cooked me in my life. Never, ever. But I stepped in and my defense was shaky. Like all I knew was scoring, playmaking, and my defense wasn't amazing. It was solid, but if I'm short, I'm not very athletic, I'm not that fast. I had to put my mind to the defensive side. So all summer, I didn't really care about scoring. It shifted to if I'm gonna play, I gotta play defense. And because I just was thrown into it, I just kept getting blasted, and I figured it out. But there's just so many moments throughout my college freshman year where it's like, welcome to college basketball. Mm-hmm. You just got dunked on. Welcome to college basketball. Oh, you just got put on ESPN top 10. for the wrong reason. Oh, welcome to college basketball. So it was just part of it. But I was prepared in a sense through the EYBL. But there was certain aspects of my game that I really had to still work on.
Sure. What did you learn? Like, what were some big takeaways from a mental standpoint that you had to develop? Either, I'm sure, toughness. You played for a very demanding coach, and you take it however you want. But like, what were some things that you developed over the course of your college career that helped you kind of establish a stronger mindset that you probably apply or use today?
Yeah, I played for Coach Kelsey, Pat Kelsey. He's now at College of Charleston. He's a winner. That end of the day, he's a winner. He's gonna push you. He's gonna get the best out of you, and not even just playing for a coach that's intense. Just playing college basketball. There's ups, there's downs, there's happy times, there's lonely times. There's just so much involved that mental toughness is huge. You get. I remember we won a game by 20, and I walked to the bench, and Marty McGillen just goes at me saying like you're trash, you played horrible, don't get excited about this game, you didn't do anything to help us. And I'm like are we serious right now? We just won by 20. I had like 5-6 points, and he just ripped me. But then the next game, I do some little things, and he's like, I know people aren't celebrating you, but I saw what you did. You changed the game there. So it's constant up and down battles because they're pushing you. There's good, there's bad, but that mental toughness and just staying positive. I'm a big positive guy. I'm going to say that throughout the whole podcast. Big positivity guy. And you got to keep pushing, even through the dark times. That you have to find a way to get out of that, and to just kind of you can't let that stuff creep into your life and take control. There's more to basketball. There's more to life than that. But it's just staying positive, pushing through, knowing the good times are coming, even when you get through a hard season of life. Keep pushing through, and that's part of basketball, and that's part of life.
That's good. How have you tied your faith into basketball? Like, how have you kind of leveraged that platform to have stronger faith, or to trust God's plan for everything you're doing?
Yeah, ultimately, God is number one in my life. Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. That's been huge for my brother and I. Basketball is huge. College sports, Division I basketball, always been a goal. But it's given us a platform now to show our faith, talk to others. In our college and our training, we now can talk to others about Christ, what he's done for us, his love. It's a huge part of it. And my dad growing up always said, you don't have to go around talking it, yelling about it, preaching it every second to every person you talk to. Live it. And that's something we've taken pride in. Is we're not perfect. We've messed up. We're going to mess up in the future, but we try to live it every day, where it's people look at us and it's like, there's something different about them. What's different about their character, their body language, how they talk to people, how they treat others, how they treat the kid that maybe doesn't have as many friends. And that's Jesus Christ, his love. And that's something that we try to put an example every day.
You guys kill it, and y'all do such a good job of that. And it's cool. You talk about being positive. Like, when I look at you, man, I see light. I do see Jesus, and it's amazing. And I think you touched on something really interesting. Personally, like, growing up, like, I put my identity in basketball 100%. Like, it was everything for me. And I think you see that across the board, just even in the college level, like the demands. It's just so much demand. Like, there's, coaches expect a lot, and I get it. There's a balance there, but people take it on as like who they are. And I think that's where, when faith can come into that, it's like, apply this to anything. Like, we're talking about basketball right now. Apply this to your business. Apply this to your relationships. When you get so caught up in those things of this world and put your identity in them, you lose sight of how God can use you. And I think that was the big shift for me. It was like, dude, like, God's blessed me with an opportunity to play college basketball. I was I wasn't near the player you were, but I knew that he could leverage me to make an impact and just be positive, whether I was deliberately talking about him or just being like, hey man, let's go get shots up. Let's go to dinner. Like, just loving people and using the platform God gave me to make an impact beyond just the game itself. That was kind of the big shift for me, that I was like, man, I feel a lot more at peace about what I'm doing, the time I'm putting in, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And like you said, college basketball is demanding. It can take over your life, consume your life so fast. And that's being real. It's more than a full-time job. The coaches, we always talked about it. We're feeding, like not feeding, the coaches feed their families by wins and losses. They win or lose based on how we play. So we're feeding their families in a sense. We're taking care of them. It's a business. It's more than a full-time job. There's so much that goes into it. We have a bad season. Our coach is gone based on partially because of us. It's just, there's so much involved. But if you lose sight of why you live your life, what you're doing, the love Jesus has for us, the love we need to show others, it can consume you, overwhelm you, and ultimately bring you down. And it changes your mindset to worldly things, fleshly things, earthly things instead of heavenly things.
So good, bro. I love it. I agree. Let's talk about your transition out of Winthrop. I want to know, I don't know the exact time period when you stepped into Broman Academy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anders initially started the platform. Yep, you got the shirt.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah,
Don't give Anders.
How did it start, bro? Was it a joint thing? Like, was it something you guys were doing in school? Was it like, how did you guys start the academy?
So our high school trainer that passed away, Will Starks, we used to train with him and his son, Diami Starks, and we called our training the Academy. That's where Academy comes from in our name. But then we owe him a lot of credit, him and his family. And then coming down here, Anders interned with some basketball companies, some programs, some training, and fell in love with it. And we always knew we wanted to do basketball in sports the rest of our life. But we started with working with some other people. We kind of learned the ropes, got some great experience. And then late February, early March 2020, right before COVID, about 2 weeks before COVID hit, we have the idea, let's launch Broman Academy. We launch it, COVID hits, shut down. And that's literally where it started. But right before COVID, started Broman Academy, been going ever since, going strong. And ultimately, it sounds bad to say this, COVID was one of the best things for us.
Sure.
It pushed us outside our comfort zone. It forced us to get creative. And it was just a really, really tough time. And we made it through that tough time. And now we're out of it, slowly getting out of it. And things are getting easier because we worked so hard in the beginning. But Anders had a major role in starting Broman Academy, but I was alongside of him.
You're a big piece to the team. So what do you guys do? Talk about the different kind of components of Broman Academy, kind of how you guys break it down and how you're able to kind of leverage that platform to bring kids into the program.
Yeah. So with Broman Academy, we do individual training, small group training, camps. We have our own league, this summer league. We are having right around 110 kids in our league. We played at Winthrop, and the community had such a big impact on us. So many kids, families come to the locker room after the game, shaking our hands, getting pictures. And when we were done, we had an opportunity to go overseas and play basketball, or we could start our training here. And we just love the area, love the community, that we're like, we want to give back. We want to help these next kids in basketball and in life. So we got that rolling. But yeah, Broman Academy's training, it's fitness training, it's basketball training. It's preparing them for the game, but also life. And we feel like we don't work. It's the best feeling in the world when we make our own schedule. We're our own boss. But it's basketball. At the end of the day, we're doing basketball training. Like, we're so blessed. We're so fortunate. People go to their job, sit in the office, and hate it every second of it. We got to go play basketball every day, and we love every second of it. So we feel very fortunate.
It's amazing. It's super powerful when you find that. And not everyone necessarily does, but the people that do, it's there's nothing to compare it to, because it's literally like living out your purpose and truly being fulfilled by what you're doing. Talk about the fulfillment side of this, because obviously you say you love what you're doing. Like, you're able to make such a big impact on one kid at a time, on 10 kids at a time, on a whole camp, on a whole league. And then obviously we'll talk about your TikTok in a second, but talk about the impact you're able to have and kind of how that potentially could fulfill you and kind of what you're doing.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, big positivity guy. We preach positivity. Next shot, next play. All right, you messed up. Fine, it's over. What's going to happen in the next situation? Get back on defense. Get a stop. We're big next play guys, big positivity guys, and our goal with our kids is to make them better basketball players. We always talk to them. We guarantee when you walk in the doors, Okay. Or by the time you walk out the doors, you're going to become a better basketball player. Your skills have improved, everything. But ultimately, our goal is to be, when you walk out these doors, you're a better person. You're a better friend. You're a better daughter, brother, anything, I know I messed that up. Anything you want to put it, you walk out a better person than when you walked in. And that's something we've been able to see, and we've seen these kids grow. And that means more to us than, oh, this kid dropped 20 points yesterday. Oh, that kid had 35 points, whatever it is. It's like, no, that kid got an award at school for leadership, or that kid got he went over and sat at the lunch table with some kids that aren't maybe the cool kids, and he now made some new friends, and he changed their day. Those are the kids. That's what we're most proud of, is changing these kids' lives, not just basketball, but their mindset going forward of being better people, and then hopefully they go on and change the world even more than what we're doing.
That's big time, dude. That's something not to take lightly either. That's really important. And I think that's where some people miss, and can get easily consumed in what they're doing just for like the pure product of, whether it's whatever business it is, like, put out a service, put out a product and try to get customers and then try to make money and grow. But like when you can attach whatever you're doing, product or service, with passion and purpose, and actually make an impact beyond just the service, right? The service is they're coming to train with you, they're coming to camp, whatever, but they're leaving with value and purpose beyond just what you gave them in the gym. That is like, from a business standpoint, that's insane. And from like a worldly standpoint, that is just like, you're making this place better. And that's super powerful.
Yeah. And people, people always are like, oh, you just do basketball training. Like they almost talk down upon it. And it's like, yes, training is what we do. And it's amazing. It's incredible down here in the Charlotte area. But we are helping these kids grow and develop. And our primary age group right now is probably 3rd to 8th grade. Those are huge years as the brain is processing, they're understanding who they are, what they can do. And we've been fortunate enough to see some kids from 4th, 5th grade that are now in 8th grade. And it's like, they're different people, or going into 8th grade, sorry. They're different people now. Their lives have changed. They have more confidence in themselves. They're nicer people. They go out of their way. And it's such a blessing, so much fun to see these kids grow based on the community and the environment we've built with Broman Academy.
It's so good, dude. So good. I want to dive into this. I know I had to bring it up, dude. I want to talk about the TikTok stardom. You are
the TikTok
stardom. You're an incredible creator. You put out really, really good content, primarily in the basketball world, if I'm not mistaken. Talk a little bit about that, kind of how that started, how it's blown up, and how it's kind of maybe even opened up opportunities or doors to, one, make a bigger impact through your content, but also maybe from a business standpoint, you can take it however you want, but talk about kind of that linear progression of kind of from start to where you are.
Yeah. So social media is wild these days, and that's how you just got to put it. Social media is crazy. But yes, my brother and I, we do Instagram, we do TikTok, YouTube Shorts. We started it kind of just as a joke during COVID. We saw other people doing basketball stuff, and we're like, we might as well try it. And just this past week, I'm over 435,000 followers on TikTok. My brother and our company is over 50,000 on TikTok, 32,000 on Instagram. It's crazy where it's gone. But the kids live on TikTok. The next generation lives on TikTok, or TikTok, Instagram. We want to reach more and more kids. So we needed to use that platform to get out there, to reach them. And because our goal is, we love the Rock Hill, Fort Mill, Charlotte area, but there's so many kids out there that maybe don't have opportunities to go to a training or whatever. They just have their phone. And so we wanted to get out there and reach them, whether it's training, whether it's just a life lesson, whether it's to put a smile on their face for 20 seconds while they're watching a video. That's something we wanted to do. And we've been blessed to work with so far Dr. Dish, Uninterrupted, LeBron's company, ESPN. We've just been so fortunate enough to use the social media platform we have and have some success, and to meet these cool people and these businesses. It's been a lot of fun so far.
I love it. And I'm so happy for you, bro. And I'm so excited to see where it's going to continue to go. I talk about it a lot. Like energy creates opportunity. Positive energy is unmatched. And I think, what you've done and accomplished didn't happen by accident. It didn't happen overnight. And I think that's what people have to realize. Like, dude, if you're truly passionate about it, you put in energy, you put in positive energy and stay consistent with it. Things will happen to you and change in your life that you can never even dream of. And you can't predict it or plan for it because that's just the way life works. But you got to stay at it. You got to stay positive. You got to stay consistent and do it with a heart posture that's truly real and not for some fake reason, just to gain clout or to make money. Like
Yep.
those are not good reasons. Like do it for a real purpose.
It's like you have it's like, yeah, everything you said is exactly what I preach, what I try to live by is positivity, consistent. My word is consistent when it comes to these type of things. You start it and it's fun. It's something new. It's different. And people are kind of smiling at, or like they kind of, oh, that's cool. And then you take it serious and they kind of laugh at you a little bit. And then you keep pushing, you keep grinding, and it pays off. And that's a huge part of that. My mindset was your video. I don't even remember what month it was, where it was. It was like the 3 phases. You want to tell me the 3 phases?
Yeah, I think the one you're referring to is like, you get an idea, you get a passion, something you really want to do, and you start. And what's going to happen is until you have proof of concept, until you've gained momentum, people are going to look at you and be like, you're crazy. This is not going to work. They're going to doubt you. And that's, you're going to get to a wall where it's like, you have to make a decision. You can listen to those people and say, you know what, they're probably right. It's saturated. I'm not that skilled, whatever that looks like. And you can stop, or you can say, you know what, I believe in myself. I'm going to crush this. I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to believe. I'm going to have faith. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to be positive and break through that wall. When you break through that wall of the negativity of like before you've created the proof of concept, that's when you'll see exponential growth. And that's also when you'll see the tides turn. And now you've got bandwagon fans. And now you've got people hitting you up, haven't talked to you in years. You're like, yo, Doug, what are you doing now, bro? Like, yo, let's catch up. Yeah. I bet you want to catch up now. That's what happens though. And it's all love. I mean, it's all positive, but at the end of the day, like that's
Yeah.
can you break through the wall?
Yeah. And I'm being dead serious when I saw your video. Like you never know which videos are going to touch which people, which ones are going to connect, which one just people keep scrolling. But that video stuck out to me. And it really changed my perspective because I was rolling. I think I was around 50, 60, 60,000 followers. And it was pretty cool. But at the same time, I was getting a lot of hate. People are like, what are you doing? Like, grow up. Like you're out of college. Like, stop doing that. And I blocked it out. I kept pushing. I pushed through the wall. And then the success came. And now people are like, oh, that is pretty cool. Oh, I like what you're doing. And it's just like, it's hard because you can either take the people that are negative to you and let that consume you and become your mindset, or you can block it out. You can keep pushing. And we were able to keep pushing. We pushed through it. And yeah, we love every second of it.
It's so good. And I do believe it's going to be hard no matter what. I don't want to paint a picture where it's like, oh, it's going to be super easy, just break through. But like when you establish the reason, the why, the cause of what you're doing, and it's real and it's really aligned with your calling purpose. Obviously, I'm a Christian. I believe that God has put certain passions on my heart to go chase down and bring him the glory. And when you get those kind of passions, like, dude, you can get through it. Now, if you're coming from a position of like, you're doing it for the wrong reasons and like that, it probably won't work out. Like you're probably going to get crushed. So I think my encouragement to people listening is like, find what's true, what's real, what's genuine, and what's really in your heart and double down on that. Don't worry about the other stuff. The other stuff is just noise and it's going to distract you. It's going to take you away from what you're supposed to do. So that's dope that you guys are doing that.
Yeah. And being a Christian, I ultimately believe like it's not an easy path. It's not going to, oh, you believe in Jesus, the Lord. Oh, everything's gonna be great for you. No, that's not the case. God challenges us. He throws hard times at us. He throws those walls. How are you gonna get over it? Find a way. Do it. Okay. And I believe that's part of the Christian path, the walk, and all that type of stuff. But it's God's timing, God's plan, and you got to trust Him. You got to keep pushing and stay consistent.
Amen. That's good, bro. I'm super, super excited to have you on this episode because we're doing something really cool. We've partnered with Elite SRS, which is an incredible company. Not only do they come out, and I'm not going to do like a whole ad here, but just being honest, like they have a really, really good product. They put out a premium jump rope that's affordable, just an amazing product. But the people that they have on their team, dude, are incredible. And so we partnered with them to kind of have this segment about doing hard things with ambition in mind and kind of talking about the power of putting yourself in these situations. So I'd love to dive into a couple questions, kind of talk with you through some of that stuff, because I know you'll be able to bring so much value from different seasons of life, growing up, being kind of an underdog to being very successful to college, and now to having a platform to help people. Like there's so many different challenges that you've experienced. So leading off with this, like what do you think of when you hear kind of do hard things? Like what does doing hard things mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, hard things is something as humans you don't want to do. You want to do what's easy. You want to do what's comfortable. And my thing is doing hard things is getting outside that comfort zone, pushing your limits. We tell our kids all the time we train, the most growth and development is when you're uncomfortable. When you're going through your training and you're comfortable, you're kind of coasting. You're going through the motions. You're not getting that growth. When you get outside your comfort zone and you're doing things you've never done before, you're going twice as fast as you have in your past drills. That's when you truly grow. And then as you truly grow, you start to understand who you are and your limits and all that type of stuff. But its big thing is getting outside your comfort zone. And honestly, it sounds bad, but it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be stressful. It may be painful. Like that. Those are part of doing hard things. It's not just, oh, it's going to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. If lifting and looking jacked like you was easy, everyone would be jacked. If being a Division I basketball player was easy, everyone would make it that far. It's not. They're hard things, and you have to sacrifice different parts of your life to do those hard things and be successful.
I completely agree. And I love the fact that I want to break this down too, because I'm sure, you're an extremely hard worker. People set out these goals. They're like, okay, I want to be jacked. I want to be a Division I player. And they see kind of the end goal. And I would argue that like, yes, over the course of time to get to that point is going to be hard, but talk about like the incremental, like daily things that you have to do to get there. That's what's hard, dude. The discipline to have the daily consistency is hard. Beyond just like the process is going to be hard, but like the commitment to get to that point, it doesn't happen overnight. Like the daily commitment is hard. Like talk about how you handle that process and that mindset.
It's very hard. And I got to give a shout out to Hannah Barber. She plays women's basketball at Alabama. She's doing social media as well. She puts after her workouts like 1% better. That's something I always see in her stuff, 1% better every day. And that's so true. And you have to be consistent in your daily habits, your daily routines, because yes, you see the end goal, Division I basketball. Okay. We started in 7th, 8th grade, taking it really serious. There's a lot of days between your 7th, 8th grade year and stepping on foot on a college campus. There's so many days, and you can't get consumed with the destination. It's the process, going through the daily workouts, the two-a-days, the doing the extra work. You have to be consistent. And there's so many times throughout your walk, your journey, that you hit a plateau or you hit a wall. And it's like, why am I doing this? Is it worth it? That doubt creeps in, the haters creep in. And those are the toughest times where you have to push through. You have to trust the Lord. You have to trust your process, trust your work, and keep going, because I'm working as hard as I can. I'm doing everything possible. It is going to pay off.
100%. And I think like, yes, the activity of like getting in the gym, getting shots up, lifting weights, like that activity is hard. But I would argue it's way harder to not get bored or bogged down by the process. And I feel like people don't talk about that, bro. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I feel like that's not something people talk about a lot. And it's something that's super important. We do need to talk about, because at the end of the day, we just live in a world where you want something overnight, and that's just not it. And that is why most people don't get to where they want to go, is because they just lose motivation, lose discipline, lose sight of understanding that it's going to take time. And I want you to talk about, because like doing hard things is tough, but talk about how you can how you find joy in doing hard things, and like how can you frame your mind? How can you frame what you're doing to be actually enjoyable? Because I don't want it to sound like it's just going to be a miserable process. It can be fun. You just have to accept it almost. So talk about how you kind of go about it.
Yeah. And I mean, people always, they put joy and happiness with like the result. You know, depending on how you perform, what you do, how many people like you, what's your status, that's joy and happiness in their eyes. But true joy, happiness is like is that process and understanding yourself. And you know what, I did my best today. I'm proud of myself. I'm happy. I pushed my limits in this area of my life. I'm happy. It's hard though. It is. But if you can find a way to enjoy what you do, understand, it's the details, the little things. If you can see like, oh, I shot or I didn't shoot good today, but you know what? I worked on this aspect of my game that's maybe not the best, and I saw growth in it. It's the little things in life. You gotta wrap your mind around. You gotta be joyful through it, and because it's so easy to look at the destination, look at the good, the bad, what everyone sees. But if you can find joy in the little things, I think that's going to help you so much along the way.
I agree. I like that a lot. Where have you specifically seen the benefits of doing hard things in your life? Whether it be a story, a season, an achievement, a milestone, where have you seen like an actual product of that kind of lifestyle show up?
Yeah. So like I said, my brother and I started to take basketball serious in 7th, 8th grade. We would go to the YMCA every morning. It's at 5:15 a.m. This isn't a story like as you get older, the stories get exaggerated and you're like telling these kids these stories. Just it's like no, like that's not the case. This is 100% all facts. We'd go at 5:15 a.m. We'd go to the YMCA. I hated going, hated every second of it.
Like to sleep.
The mornings are not for me. But I honors would go, and I'm like, I'm just the odd one out. Like I have to go, and I would go to the gym. Some days I'd shoot, some days I'd sleep on the floor. Like it's hard. Don't laugh at me, dog. I'm being serious. And I would sleep on the floor, and I'm like, why am I doing this? But then over time, I kept going. I stayed consistent. I started shooting more. I started to see growth in my game. But it was a hard thing, but I saw it pay off. Not just like, oh, you played college basketball. Oh, suddenly the next year I went from 8 points a game to 10 points a game. Oh, the next year I was a better leader. I was able to, be on the court, control the team better. And ultimately it paid off for college basketball. But throughout that process, a lot of people don't know this. Going into my junior July. So between junior and senior year, it's your 17U season, the last part of your AAU career. It's basically the end of it. I had 0 Division I offers going into July. So I have 3 tournaments left, no offers. First tournament goes by, was balling. All right. I was hooping, 0 offers. Other kids are getting offers and around me. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what is going on? Go back to the gym, work my butt off, keep grinding and then keep going. And then I ended up getting a few Division I offers, but people don't realize throughout, yes, I was averaging in the 30s or low 40s my sophomore, junior year. I had 0 Division I offers. I was waking up, I was going to bed crying because of how frustrating this was, of how much it hurt me. Like that's the stuff people don't see is I have tears in my eyes. I'm at the end of a workout in tears with my dad after I scored a bunch of points and no one wants me. And it's not fun. Like it's hard. That's one of the hard things. And I could either be done like, hey, maybe I'm not Division I basketball player. Or it's like, I know what I can do. I know the grind. I know the work I've put in. I got to keep pushing. And throughout those tears, those low moments, I kept pushing, ultimately got a few Division I offers, played college basketball. But there's so much time in the journey that isn't fun. It's hard, that people don't see. But if you can keep pushing, keep confidence in yourself, stay joyful, stay positive, it'll all work itself out in the end.
I agree. Dude, you just said it, bro. I was about to say, people talk about how do you get confident? Do hard things and you'll become confident. I just got back from a retreat. We were talking a little bit about it before we started recording. I was in New York for this event called HPLT, High Performance Lifestyle Training with Brian Mazza. And on Friday morning, we woke up at 4:00 in the morning. We got on a bus and we drove an hour north of New York, went to a beach, and we were instructed to do all this crazy stuff with these Navy SEALs. Ray Cash, he's going to come on our podcast in the next few months. He talks about profit from pain. And he talks about like, dude, if you want to like learn how to make pain, we can interchange with hard things, learn how to make hard things something where you're going to profit from that. Like you're going to become better. And the biggest takeaway I saw was like, dude, if I do these hard things, if I get up at 4 a.m, I go down on the beach, I lay in this cold ocean water, it's freezing cold, it's cold outside, it's dark. I'm with these people I don't know, I'm sandy, I'm wet, like super uncomfortable situation. Dude, I'm becoming harder. Like it's a hard thing, but I'm becoming harder. I'm becoming more confident because now, dude, I go do a business meeting and something. Are you kidding me? I'm smashing that, dude. Like I go to this meeting, I go to this workout, I'm smashing it, dude, because I'm putting myself in this environment that prepares me for other things that I'm going to do in my life that are not going to be nearly as hard. But now I come in with this confidence. I'm like, dude, I've done something way harder. I can kill this. And it's just, I don't know. I've never been naturally confident. I've always gained confidence from hard work and putting time in. Like, even basketball, like I'm not like naturally confident. Like the reason I'm confident is because I'm in the gym on Friday and Saturday night when people are doing other stuff, that's why I'm confident. Same thing with like this stuff. Like you put yourself in these situations, you're going to become more confident because the secret is not everyone else is doing it. And that's getting in those moments where you're leveling up. Like that's when you can, I'm harder, man. I can do more now.
Yeah, I love that. When you lost me at 4 a.m. though, I was like, no.
Yeah, you were still asleep on the floor.
4 a.m. you lost me. No, but yeah, it's that confidence. And like I said earlier, get outside your comfort zone. And when you get outside your comfort zone, you're pushing your limits. But then as you push your limits, you start to understand what you're capable of. And you gain that confidence. And in a sense, you go back to being comfortable. You're like pushing your comfortable limits, like that comfortable, like, okay, that was hard, but now it's getting easier. Yep. Okay. I'm getting more confident in it. A month ago, I couldn't do that. Now I've got the confidence to do it. So now it's becoming comfortable. I got to push myself again. Okay. What's the next step? Oh, I got that down. It's in my comfort zone. I get it. I have confidence in it. All right. Next step. A lot of people will gain confidence in a certain aspect, or they get comfortable and then they chill. You have to keep going. Find the next goal. Set another thing that you want to accomplish. Keep pushing yourself, because that's where we get the most out of life. Once you gain confidence and you understand how the confidence works, it's addicting. You're like, okay, I've got this confidence. I'm gonna go get that done. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go get that done. You're the perfect example of that. You're crazy up here. You're always trying new things. You're always trying to go do this. And that's the confidence you've learned in yourself and your ability. And then you're always, you're trying to push that comfort zone and keep going.
I appreciate it. I agree. I think it's really cool because there is a lot of similarities. Kind of the example we're talking about like breaking through the wall. It's the same thing. It might not be an idea or something you're trying to like, get to, but it's the same premise of like, if you don't do hard things regularly, you're not going to desire them. You're probably going to have some fear and resistance. But if you can break through that wall where you're like, dude, I'm going to here's the challenge for everyone listening. Do something hard every week. One thing. And it could be, there's different levels to this. It could be going to run 5 miles. Maybe you're in better shape. Maybe it's running a marathon. Maybe it's reading a book cover to cover because you hate reading and you want to get uncomfortable. But if you can start to slowly callous your mind and like choose to be offensive there, that's when, like you said, it becomes addicting, because it's not even about what you're doing. It's about seeing the implications of how it applies to other areas of life that mean something. That's when it's like, sheesh, dude, that's when you unlock levels, and that's when no one stops you.
Yeah. I like that though. Cause I always say, like, if you're going through a tough time in life, one thing a week, find one thing on your schedule to look forward to be excited about, that'll get you through the week. Same thing, like you said, with confidence or pushing your limits. One thing that's going to be really, really hard. And then, like you said, you don't just see the growth, fitness, basketball, you see it in all your aspects of your life. And that's something we're big with our kids, that when we train and our players, and we've worked with 5-year-olds up to NBA players. And obviously the higher level you coach, they have a lot of this already, but it's fun to see that the kids 3rd through 8th grade, 9th grade, start to understand confidence, work ethic, discipline. And then not just in basketball, they start applying it to the other areas of their life. And those are life skills, life lessons that when you understand at a young age, they will stick with you the rest of your life. The discipline of habits, and it's been fun to see those kids grow in those areas, because we know that'll get them further in life than being able to shoot a basketball or dribbling with your left hand. When you learn those skills and concepts, they're setting themselves up for life.
I love that, bro. That's so good. So last question, I kind of just want to wrap this thing up. Person is in a dark time right now. They're in a tough season. They're going through just a hard point in their life. They can't necessarily see the end. What are you telling them? How are you getting them out of it? Like what are some things they need to know in that moment?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's you don't want to say it, but when you have a tough time, you get through it. There's probably gonna be more tough times coming. That's life. Life is throwing at you hard situations. But when you are in tough times, like I said, I'm a big positivity guy, big consistent guy, and then a big trust guy. You have to stay consistent with what you're doing. You can't get caught up in the destination. Know the process, love the journey. Stay consistent with everything you're doing, and then positive mindset. The brain is powerful. In our training, we talk all the time, overload the brain. Push, it's like a muscle, push it, make it, the more you work it, it's almost like it gives you a headache, like it's so mental, but you're growing yourself mentally to do more things, do multiple things at one time, tennis ball, 2-ball dribbling. That'll make the game simpler when you get on the court. And then trust the grind, trust your hard work, and trust in the Lord and his path and his timing, and that it'll all work itself out.
I love it. Faith is huge. I think too, like it's crazy. Like you get out of the hard time, and then during it's hard to see it, but you look back and like the hardest times I've gone through in my life have been the best times, because they've put me in a better position to do what I'm doing now. And I don't think I'm doing what I'm doing now if I have not gone through those hard times. So go into this moment or be in the middle of the moment, knowing that I can't tell you why you're going through it. I can't always, explain every detail, but I can tell you that if you stay positive, like you said, dude, there's going to be learnings. There's going to be things you're becoming stronger, you're developing, and you're going to be able to apply the lessons you've learned and the experiences that you had to go through later on in life to either be the better version of yourself, but also to hopefully help other people, because that's ultimately the goal. At least it is for me, using past experiences to make an impact. So that's so good, bro. I really appreciate your take there. And this has been an incredible podcast. You are a beast, and I'm so excited for you and everything that God's doing in your life. And I just appreciate you jumping on, man. This has been a fun one.
Yeah, no, this has been a blast. It's been awesome to see where Ambition and Mind has gone over the past year or so. I knew you in college a little bit, gave you quite a few buckets. But it's been fun to see where your growth has come, in Ambition in Mind as a person, and where it's gonna go. You guys, you're not stopping. You guys are impacting lives. You've reached out you've impacted a lot of college students, and now you're out here like you said, you're up in New York. You're going all over the place. You're reaching a lot of lives. So it's fun to see. It's fun to track. Exciting to see where you guys are going to go in the future. But I appreciate you having me on. I'm blessed to call you, a friend, a brother. And I'm appreciative of you for pushing me and helping me grow on a daily basis.
You're the man, baby. Let's do hard things with ambition in mind. Let's go.
Keep ambition in mind. Right there.
I love it, bro. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Doug.